friends, welcome to the new video of Tech Miracles. In the early video, we discussed a simple application developed in three-tier architecture. In this video, we just go through the theory portion of the three-tier architecture. Three-tier architecture divides the project into three layers. That layers are user interface layer, business layer, data layer. First layer, presentation layer or user interface layer. This is the topmost layer of the architecture. That is, the user can interface through this layer. This layer contains pages like web forms, Windows forms. In this layer, data is presented to the user and used to take input from the user. This layer, presentation layer or the user interface layer, is the most important layer of the three-tier architecture. Next layer, business layer or the logic layer. This is the middle layer of the three-tier architecture. This layer involves some classes and logical calculations and operations. Business layer or logic layer act as the middleware of the presentation and the data layer. In this layer, implements business logic and calculations. Business layer validate the input condition before calling a method from the data layer and ensure the data input is correct before the proceeding and can often ensure that the outputs are correct as well. The last layer is data layer. This is the layer used to connect application to the database. It contains methods which are used to perform operations like insert, delete, update, etc. This layer contains stored procedures or methods to perform operations on the database. So these are the three layers of three-tier architecture. And the early video that is was part of simple application developed in three-tier architecture. We developed the presentation layer, that is web forms. In this video, we just develop business layer and the data layer. That is, business layer and data layer are two classes. We just create that classes and the database and the tables. According to theory, last video we discussed about the presentation layer, that is user interface layers. We created for web form, admin home, registration, user home and login.aspx. This is admin home, registration, user home and login.axps. This is our presentation layer. Then we create business layer and data layer. Then expand solution explorer, right click on the project and add new item, visual C#, select class. Rename class 1 as business layer. Then click add. In our project, we get a C# class business layer. Again, right click on the project and add new item. Again, select class, rename the classes data layer. We get two classes, business layer.cs and data layer.cs. Then we have to create a database. Then server explorer, right click on the data connections. Then create new SQL Server database. Select the server name, my server name. Click on the radio button, use Windows authentication, database name, symbol 3-tier DB. Then click OK. Expand the database, then select tables. Then right click on the table, add new table. First we assign a table. We create first a login table. First field of the table is ID. That is integer type, unchecked allowance. Next one, username, that is in varchar, allowance unchecked, then password, that is also in varchar 50 allowance. We have to select a table name. Then here is our table name, db underscore login. Our ID is auto generator. Then here int ID, int not null, primary key, then identity for auto generation. Then click update, select update database button, update complete. Then again right click on table and add new table. Again we have to create another table for registration. There is also we need ID, that is in integer type, allowance uncheck. Then next field is name, that is in varchar uncheck allowance, and then address also in varchar. All the fields we uncheck allowance checkbox. Then email also in varchar 50. If we need address, we selected in varchar max. Then email, then gender, that's also in varchar 50. Check allowance, then username, also varchar 50. Then password, varchar 50. Then status, varchar 50. Age, int, then phone number. These are the fields. Then our ID is primary key and also it is auto generated. For that we use the keyword identity and we select the table name as registration and also click update button. Then click update database button. Update complete. 2 tables are successfully added. Then refresh. We can see the tables. Expand this, show the table. Then right click on the table and show table data. Now here is no data in table. All the fields are null. Then we want to connect database to the application. An easy way to connect the database to the application is expand toolbox. From the data, select SQL data source. We just place SQL data source somewhere in our any of the form. I placed it in registration form. Here I place SQL data source. After establishing the database connection, we just delete the SQL data source tool. Then click the configure data source. Then click new connection, server name, authentication, Windows authentication. Then select or enter database name. Our database is symbol 3 DB. Then click on OK button. Select connection string. Then click. This is our connection string. Then again click next button. Our registration table is visible here. Then if you want to execute any of the query, we can execute the query. Then click next. Then click finish button. Our database connection is established here. We just delete the SQL data source too. Then we can show SQL connection in web.conf page. See configuration. Inside the configuration tag, inside the connection string tag, add new symbol 3-tier DB connection string. This is our connection string's name and the connection string is closed here. Okay, simply we establish the connection with database symbol 3-tier DB and the application symbol 3-tier. All other pages we just use this connection string symbol 3-tier DB connection. In the next video, we discussed about business layer class and the data layer class. That are two classes with the methods we used in this application. Here we conclude our video. Thank you. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you very much.